right, here we go. Let's start this thing up. Welcome back, Better Everyday Podcast listeners. I'm your host, Brad Weems. Today's guests are some good friends of mine, members of Thunder Valley Fitness and owners of Rouge Salon, which recently relocated to right here in downtown Johnson City. Today's guests are Mike and Rebecca Smith. What's going on, guys?
Well, hello, Brad.
Not much.
You guys been busy at all lately?
No.
Phew. Wearing wearing us out.
Like I was just saying, listeners, they just relocated their salon from what part of Johnson City was it in?
It was on Oakland Street,
Yeah,
kind of across from, well, if you're, you know where Walmart is, right?
yeah.
It's over like across from there.
Southern Classic Car Wash.
There we
Yeah.
go. There
On
we
the
Right
go.
same
across the
road.
street.
To,
Next door to Honeycut Music.
Yeah.
to down here behind Trek and next to Go Burrito.
Yeah.
Yep. And so right there in front of the park, great view if you're in there getting your hair done. But let's talk a little more about you guys, and then we'll revisit the new location here in a little bit. Go ahead, Rebecca. Start us out. Tell us about you.
So I'm a native. Actually, I'm from Irwin, Tennessee.
Okay.
I don't usually tell people that, but I am. Let's see. I moved away for about 10 years. I was in the military. I was in the Air Force. Did that for 5 and then got out, went to cosmetology school. I was stationed actually at Travis Air Force Base, California. And when I got out, I went to Sacramento, California to go to cosmetology school. And and then when um, my ex-husband got orders to Germany, my daughter and I decided to move back here. So that's I moved back here trying to think 2007.
hmm So, what
So
gave you this passion to go to school?
I've always wanted to do hair, but I think back in the day it was kind of frowned upon,
hmm
like that beauty school dropout kind of vibe. So I decided to kind of do the Air Force first to kind of get my I don't know, I was into some wild things. So that kind of straightened me out a little bit and kind of in California, it's a little different vibe when you get your hair done there. It's more of an artistry.
hmm
So I don't know, I was inspired by a couple of people. So that's what kind of encouraged me to go into cosmetology.
Cool. Who's this
So
guy next to you?
it's my husband, Mike Smith.
Mike, tell us a little bit about you.
Um Born in Detroit, lived in Northern California for a brief period of time, and then have been in East Tennessee between Johnson City and Knoxville since the early to mid 80s.
Okay.
So,
And did you guys meet in California?
no.
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 That's
Ironic.
that's that's a great story. Of all the
For
places
another
in the
for
world,
another time.
I don't know. Maybe that's where Brad's going with this.
Hey, the floor is yours.
Oh no.
Podcasting is all about storytelling.
Yeah, kind of a strange situation. We were both recently single and not looking for anything, and met. I'll say Target, so it sounds better. It was really the O'Charlie's parking lot, um, watching the Fourth of July fireworks. She was with a group of friends, and I was with a group of friends, and one of the guys that I was with knew one of the girls in her group, and that was it.
Cool. So if you're single and looking to find somebody, the
Go to
Fourth of July,
O'Charlie's.
or the well, I don't know about these days. I hear it used to be
Not
the
these
hopping
days.
spot, but go to the
No.
Fourth of July fireworks show.
Yeah,
No,
No.
not these days.
Okay.
There's
Anyway,
there is a longer story to that, but he told you the simplified version.
yeah. Oh, it got very complicated for a
It
while.
was fun.
But I did tell her on our second date, I was like, you know, we're going to get married, right? And she just kind of looked at me and was like, yeah.
it's such
And
a
I don't,
Mike
I
Smith
don't,
move.
I don't know if she was like scared to death at that point and that's why she said yeah, or like she really was like, this maybe.
Creeper.
And that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you're a confident person, why not?
he's
Just
very
throw it out there.
he's overly confident.
Yeah.
You know this,
I,
right, Brad?
I, I know this guy a little bit. Um, Mike, what do you do for work? That's always like
Everybody wants to know.
people always ask. They're like,
Do
"What's
you
Mike?"
work at the salon?
Um, what I would consider, quote, my real job,
Mm-hmm.
I repair nuclear imaging equipment. So work in nuclear cardiology. So, uh, say a stress test when you go to the hospital, where patient is injected with a radioactive isotope, and there's a scanner that is able to watch that decay out of the body and make an image out of that. I work on those scanners.
So, okay, so how in the world did you get to this point?
um, Ironically, I don't have a degree or any background in electronics or anything like that. My dad started, actually, that's why we moved to Knoxville. Um, in the 80s, was he took a job working for a company that did that and worked for them for almost 20 years. And that company got bought out, and him and a couple other guys started a company. And after I graduated from UT in 2005 and spent enough months being exceptionally broke, I decided that I would help him out on
Okay.
some things, and it just progressed from there.
And everyone thinks you need to go to school and get some fancy education, but this is just this is a testament to hard work and just like learning a skill and a craft almost for
Absolutely.
both of you. So
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even use your degree, do you?
No, no. I mean,
Your fancy UT degree.
we're uh, we're talking about that right now with our teenager.
mhm,
She's 18, freshman in college during COVID,
yeah,
and it's like, hey, I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do, and it's like, we didn't know that when we were your
Yeah.
age,
You don't
right.
have to have that
and
figured
and then
out.
we didn't have all this other stuff going on in the world. It's that, yeah,
I don't know about you guys, but I'm a firm believer that you find something you're passionate about and then just get to work. And I
Yeah.
feel like everything will kind of pan out.
yeah.
So we hadn't even mentioned your family yet. Let's talk about them.
What part of my family?
Hey, you got some kids?
My children's.
Yeah,
I have an 18-year-old girl named Jaden, and I have a 9-year-old girl named Aslan, and a 7-year-old boy named Silas.
cool.
Yeah.
They're a handful.
Wild and crazy.
Yeah,
It's a
got to
little wild.
meet him over at the Mackey farm. 2 weeks ago, and yeah,
Yeah.
some good kids. All right, Rebecca, let's talk a little more about what made you decide to get into hair, and then you could have easily been an employee somewhere, but you decided to open your own salon.
Well,
So
I was an employee somewhere
okay,
first. So when I moved here in '07, I was told to go to a salon called East Salon with Greg Ramsey, and I built my clientele there for I think 3.5 years, and and then I decided I wanted to do my own thing.
hmm
So that's when he came in, and I want to do something a lot smaller scale. Mike had bigger ideas, I think, for the salon.
Uh, I don't think either one of us really went in with any expectations.
No, I
Um,
definitely
it
not.
was it was right at that time that I don't even know if we were engaged yet,
No,
because
no.
I had come out of a pretty bad relationship before that, and I told my parents that, hey, I just started a business with this girl, and they were like, what? Like, that doesn't sound like a good idea. And it was only a couple weeks later that we were engaged, and they were like, okay, maybe this is better. But it was just, she shared with me, like, hey, this is a dream of mine. I want to do it, do some things kind of the way they were done in California. Um, a little different than what Johnson City was used to. And so we embarked on that journey, and she's more of a thinker sometimes when it comes to that. She was like, well, we need to get a business plan together, and we need to do this, we need to do that. And
He's a doer.
a couple weeks later, I came home and I was like, hey, I filed our LLC today and I signed a lease. I was like, so
you didn't even get to look at the spot.
No.
Wow,
And it was quite a spot.
I know.
so we started out with just her and one of her friends
hmm
that's a stylist here in town. And it's just a little spot that a friend of mine owned the building, and very small, very cheap. And that's where we got our
S-
start.
It's a
So
good start.
did you know that Mike would be the one kind of doing the operations of the
No,
business?
I had
No.
no idea at first. I mean, he keeps me in check financially.
Okay.
So I think he's way more, I guess, frugal than I.
Well, and I think we make a great team because
Yeah.
um, I'm more the financial person. I take care of all the
Mm.
really fun stuff like taxes and licensing and the behind the scenes stuff.
You're Mr. Fix It too.
Yeah, and I get to
He's a
fix
do it
everything.
all type of guy.
And then she is great at the people aspect of it, and obviously the artistry side of it.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest things at the gym is you wear so many hats,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of envious in the fact that you got somebody to kind of kick half the responsibilities too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I think hairstylists in general are known to be a little, it's a different part of the brain that they
mhm,
use. And unfortunately, I think that's why other hair salons in different places go under faster,
right.
is because they're passionate about people, they're passionate about hair. They have this amazing skill set, but the business side of that,
They'll give it away for free.
yeah, doesn't really equate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Fortunately enough, I went to school for business, so I kind of got that side of the spectrum, and then
Hmm.
had this passion of fitness, and just learned and kind of like snowballed and
oh yeah. Well,
figured.
and that's part of it too, is just you got to learn as you go. I mean,
Right.
I knew absolutely nothing about hair
Mhm,
when I met her. My goal with the salon was never to be a stylist or know that much about hair. My goal was try and facilitate and help her along with a dream she had.
mhm,
And through that, I've learned, man, a good hairstylist is crazy smart. I mean, there's so much to it with chemistry and timing, and along with, you're going to be somebody's therapist.
right.
You're going to interact with a lot of people that sometimes carry a lot of heavy things.
Right.
Some of those people are happy and fun and great, and sometimes it's not.
And just kind of to touch on some of those things you just said, I was in there Sunday with you, and you were just showing me like it almost looked like lab notes in the computer of like how to get all the minute details to get someone's
Hmm.
hair
The
perfect.
formulas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
It's
crazy,
chemistry.
and I never
It's not
knew that there was
easy.
so much behind the scenes
Hmm.
that you just kind of take for granted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I went and got my hair done." But there's clients that come in and their hair's tough. They have huge chemical formulas that
Hmm.
have to be formulated individually for every person.
Yeah.
It has to be applied to the hair correctly in a way that looks good. It has to stay on for the right amount of time. Can't be too short, can't be too long. Has to be rinsed at the right time. Has to be
Hmm.
toned. You got to have the skill set to cut. You got to have the skill set to style. I mean, a great hairstylist
You have to
is
be
a
on it.
very, very, very skilled person.
And then to touch base on something you said a second ago, you're a therapist as well. One of the most awkward moments is when you go get your hair done and there's no conversation with the person that's
Yeah.
cutting your hair.
You have to have a good personality to do this job.
Without a
I'm
doubt.
not saying I have a good personality, but I do feel like I feel people,
Hmm.
and if you don't, then I mean, I really think you're not going to be very successful.
Well, and everybody has their own personalities, and that's why um, you see such loyalty with
Hmm.
a lot of clients. And when people are looking for a new stylist, because you're looking for that person that you can sit in the chair with and have good conversation and carry, but you're also there for a service, and you have an expectation of what that looks like when you walk out the door. So you got to carry all that.
Right. And, in a world where it's all about texting or direct messaging, how many opportunities in a week do you have to sit there with somebody and like actually talk face to face or have someone listen to you? So 1 to 2 hours can be very impactful
Oh
on a
yeah,
lot of your clients.
yeah, that's a big one. Um, it's really taught me a lot about trying to really intentionally listen,
Hmm.
because I think that is definitely something that will make or break that appointment. Like if they're a new appointment, like if you genuinely listen to them, I really feel even if you did a shoddy job on their hair, I think they would really come back even just from that. Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah, definitely. And,
Yeah.
I won't,
Maybe not a shoddy job.
a year from now, I won't remember a bad haircut, but I will remember the way that someone makes me feel.
Right. And you want
So,
to
Yeah.
be, that's what you want, and you're paying for that too. You just it's definitely a special touch.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Um, so, in the theme of getting better every day, what made you guys decide to open this new downtown location and just level up the aesthetics of the building and the customer experience for your customers?
I honestly feel like I have a great group of girls, and I feel like we've all kind of, I'm not saying I personally have earned this because the clients have made this happen for us. I mean, we're in it for 10 years. I feel like this is our final resting place. I feel like this is, I keep saying it's my big girl salon. Like, I feel like the girls deserve this. The clients deserve this. Come in and have this experience. I'm so thankful, very thankful
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
clients.
so our original plan for downtown was 6 years ago
Hmm.
when we were moving out of our first spot. Wasn't necessarily a bad situation, but it wasn't ideal, and we wanted to move quickly. And one of our biggest concerns is parking.
Yeah.
And so 6 years ago, downtown hadn't really expanded out the way it has towards King Commons and West Walnut
Hmm.
and the Mill and all these great things that are happening down here right now. And so we couldn't find a spot for us that fit our needs for the salon and then our needs for the clients. Um, and so as things progressed over the years and we were building up our business, with clients and stylists, it had always been on the radar. And so I think it was probably 2 years ago, and
Hmm.
we started seeing a lot of things happening and started looking around. And then everything happened with downtown, that what's now King Commons Park, and the flooding and the U-Haul and the sign and all these things. And so we started spending some time down there, and I personally would go down and just sit in the parking lot for a couple hours at a time and look and see what was going on downtown. Well, how was parking? And at one point I took a wheel and and went 350 feet in every direction from our front door. And there's 120 something parking spaces close, within 350 feet of our front door. And so it was kind of like, man, I think the parking's here. I think the traffic is here to drive this. And um, and then the space was just super cool and a
Hmm.
lot of history, um, with the space. And so we're going to try and incorporate that here shortly, with some historical stuff inside the salon for that space. And so, kind of once we made that decision, like, okay, I think it's time to go, we started moving that direction. And then we had COVID, and then things got funky, and it's taken a lot longer to get in there. But I think we got it right.
I know you got it right.
I
Um,
feel like I felt good from the beginning, even before COVID, before everything. The spot was just, it hit home. I don't know why. I just
yeah,
felt like this is where I need to be.
and it
It's
and it
crazy.
and it's so nice. Like
Oh,
we've talked
I
about,
can't
like just to be
even.
able to, like, clients can hang out down there. You're overlooking the park.
Hmm.
We've got Go Burrito and the Rum Bar and the Ale House and now Watauga.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot going on down there, and it's just a cool spot.
And the cool kids park.
yeah,
And that,
Yeah.
yeah, the new kids park.
The
But it
amphitheater will be coming, I
but
think.
but even for like me, where I don't spend a ton of time in the salon, of course I've been there lately. It's been so nice because I'll get a phone call. Man, I can go sit in the park
yeah,
and talk on the phone,
yeah,
um, on a nice day, and it's just refreshing. It feels like a good space.
yeah. It's amazing. I was blown away whenever I walked in the other day.
Well, thanks for your help, Brad.
Oh, it was minimal. I mean, literally one heavy piece, and that was it. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's
but
and it was real fun too because our staff, all the girls that have been with us for, gosh, we've got two that have been there 8 years.
Almost 10.
Okay, two or three. I mean, they've been with us for a long, long time,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that we try and do is really provide them with a great space and everything,
Yeah.
because that translates down to the clients.
Yep.
But yeah, the girls didn't even see it
Mm.
from when it was kind of a hole in the ground and a bunch of gravel until this last Sunday. And we let them walk in for the first time with it 100% done.
It's awesome.
That was emotional.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can
There
only
were
imagine.
there were a lot of tears.
I can only imagine. So, what's next for the salon? How do you keep getting better? You said this is your final location, so
The the goal would be we've got some open chairs.
Mhm.
We've got some space within our space to do some different things. So we'll be looking to add some stylists, maybe a barber. And then we've recently got a new stylist who's an educator, and we might want to start hosting education for other stylists in the area, bringing in classes from platform artists or whoever in that realm, and use that space
cool.
to.
Love it, guys. Well, I'll
Mhm.
tell you what. Thank you all for coming down today.
Thank you, Brad.
Um, guys, be sure to. Leighton, did you get that video up of the salon?
Watch it right now. Here it
Cool,
goes,
cool,
side by side with you.
awesome. Um, good deal. So that's their new spot. You guys be sure walk by, go stop in, see Rebecca. Hopefully, can maybe fit you in for an appointment sometime down the road.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's going to be a huge asset to the downtown area. So, thank you all for coming on today.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
And better everyday listeners, we will be talking to you soon.